It's that time of the year again. Old asshole man winter's coming up, snowing on us real soon. Got to tune up the old snowblower. Honda Harmony HS520. It's a 4-stroke engine, so there's oil in the crankcase. It's pretty obvious we're going to change the oil, replace the spark plug, probably clean the carb, but I'm not going to bore you guys with all that. There's probably a million better videos on YouTube to show you that, but I am going to show you some highlights of some spots that you want to maybe pay attention to. Make sure that the part's not worn out so you're not totally fucked when it's snowing. So I taught my kid small engine repair, and he just came of age the other day, so I asked him what he wants to be when he grows up. And he tells me either a pizza delivery man or a plumber, which tells me he's watching way too much porn. Anyway, model number, serial number. That's what you need to order parts for this thing. That's the drain plug. That's the oil inlet and the dipstick. It says here it wants 5W30. Put 5W30 in it. This rope rubs up against that bracket right there. You can see from the paint being worn off. So make sure that you look at the entire length of the recoil rope, because that is probably the first thing to snap on the first snowstorm, and you're going to be real pissed. So you can thank me later for that. If it's worn, change it. Now here's another critical but often overlooked spot to check. The bend. It's a Z-bend. Look at the lead on the cable. If that's worn out, change the cable. Common to break right there. Alright, it's a good idea to follow the cable down and see where it attaches on the other end. It's going to be underneath this cover, which you want to take off anyway because the belt's under there. We're going to inspect that and that pulley, and then check the plate or whatever the end of the cable looks like down here, because it can snap at either end. It ain't going to ever snap in the middle. It's going to snap on the ends. Well, this one was a bitch to get to because there's a nut on the back. It's not in a good spot. But I think we got her now. Oh, yeah. Note that step, or the shoulder on that bolt. That one's got to go back in there. Whoa. Looking good in the hood. Check for this pulley being loose. There's a bearing there. Looks good. Looks like everything's intact. There's a couple of spiders in there. It's got some rust, so nothing too out of the ordinary. Everything looks new and shiny. The belt looks like in good shape, so we'll call her good. Now this guy asked me if I put a little paint on this surface rust. I told him no problem, but I peeled off the loose paint on the underneath, and there ain't no paint that's going to save this. You got to replace this cover if you don't want to look at the rust or have it fail. Not a big ticket item, I'm sure, but I don't know. If it were mine, I'd probably just roll with it. But I know this guy, he likes his stuff nice. He's probably going to have me order it. So while you're down in here, you want to check the other end of the cable. You got to peel back this condom here. Check the bend. Yeah. This Z-bend is in good shape too. Plate's in good shape, and look at the end of the spring. Hook looks good. Cover it back up. And just check the tension. Peel back the cable. Oh yeah. Tighter than Steely Dan's greatest hits. Here comes the fucking train again. Canadian National. Shaking my building for 20 years. Now since these screws are so small, put a little dab of grease on the end of them. You don't want these snapping off, especially if you got to replace the cover. Then you got to drill it out, tap it, all that. Remember why you don't screw the next guy, right? Now here's another spot. You get some worn things. These here paddles and this here scraper. These are consumables. They wear out from time to time. I don't know exactly how tight this is when it's new, but it's a lot tighter than this, or you can't fit your whole finger in there. Don't ever put your fingers in there like that. I mean, that's stupid. Snowblowers are the #1 cause of amputation from consumer products. I know that for a fact because I wrote an article about it in the newspaper. Another freight train. Thanks, Canadian National. You gonna shoot this again? Fuck the backroom noise. Also, this here bends in when the thing gets worn. They don't make these too stout, so You know, I'm going to recommend that maybe gets another season or two out of this thing and then just buys a new one, because this is an expensive job. This is an expensive job. And if there's nothing to attach the stuff to, it doesn't really make any sense to do it, you know? So, ride it out. Fucking train. Now, just in case he bashes this good and hard into the curb or something, I'm going to use my snap-on Spanish socket set to try and straighten out this housing. Now, I'm not being racist. Look.
Audio Jungle.
Yeah, like brand new. Now, when I pulled the carburetor apart, I realized that the thing was stored without fuel in it, which is good. So, we're going to use True Fuel. This stuff I did a video on a while back. You can see that it's ethanol free, and that's cool. So I'm going to use this for stuff that you use seasonal storage as a common thing, like log splitters, pressure washers, snow blowers, all that kind of stuff. That way you don't put gas in this thing and then all the ethanol sucks up the water in the air in the fuel system, and then you got to go back and do the job again. And you know, it might not snow until February. Fuck, it might not snow at all. It'd be fine with me. Try not to make a spark. Choke. Go. Alright, put her under load on the concrete, burn a little rubber in the shop, call her done. Now, before I ever say goodbye to a piece of equipment in my shop, I like to clean it up with a little rubbing alcohol. Rubbing alcohol is a good solvent. Not only dissolves marriages, families, and careers, but it also does a good job on oily fingerprints and crayon marks, gas, stuff like that. And it evaporates, leaves a nice dry surface. Looks like you actually took some care while it was in your possession. So thanks for watching.